issue begins with Mayor Jameson's press conference about shutting down the raft, but he's interrupted by a new villainous duo, Screwball and Jester. Using social media to market themselves, the duo pranks celebrities to gain traffic to their site Screwballed.com, a front for identity theft. A furious Jameson orders Spidey to make the criminals pay for his public humiliation, and thus the Spiderbots are on high alert for the pranksters. Meanwhile, Doc witnesses bullies harassing his new friend Anna Maria about her diminutive stature. Such bullying will not be tolerated in Doc's world. Still traumatized by the bullying he received as a child, Doc makes these bullies pay, and his retribution against bullying does not end there. The Spiderbots find Screwball and Jester. Unfortunately, what starts as a simple warning quickly escalates when the duo try to make Doc look like a fool. Harrowed by his past, an enraged Doc lets loose and absolutely destroys the ill-prepared criminals. People across the world watch Screwballed.com in horror or some in delight as Spider-Man goes berserk. Unfortunately for Doc, the Avengers are also tuned in, and they do not like what they see. It's time for them to pay a visit to their old friend Spider-Man.
So it seems like things are really about to start to fall apart for our superior Spider-Man.
The first domino is about to fall, and then everything else is just going to collapse.
Like the Avengers look like they're about to kick him out. He's going to probably lose his job at Horizon pretty soon, I'd imagine.
The tutor is smart enough to realize that Spider-Man or Doc Ock is somehow behind what happened at the school.
To the bullies. And then also Mary Jane seems kind of upset with him.
Carly's obviously still out there. And everyone across the world basically saw how much Peter has changed. He's way more brutal. He doesn't have any of his funny quips.
Yeah.
Everyone could always count on Peter taking a joke. And Doc Ock cannot take a joke. I'm curious to know how Doc is going to handle the Avengers.
The Avengers seem to be on their high horse saying, like, you can't do that. Which even Wolverine pointed out that, like, we're already a team of, like, ex-killers and criminals. Yeah. Who are we to judge? But they judged away.
Well, they judged fine after he goes out and basically makes a public spectacle of basically beating the shit out of jokesters.
I also find it really strange that they really haven't investigated the whole idea of, like, him being mind-controlled or something further. Because his behavior is so different than Peter Parker's. It seems like that would be just a red flag.
Yeah, Thor even brings up the point where he's like, I fought with him recently, and he's just not the same. You can't count him in anymore. Previous Avengers issues, he's just obviously very different than what he normally is.
It seems like they'd bring him in and have Reed Richards like run some brain scan on him.
The main theme, I think, of Superior Spider-Man is, can Doc change? And he seems to have good intentions for what he does, but he just goes across and does it the worst way possible.
Yeah, he's like kind of very Machiavellian in that sense. Like he feels like the ends justify the means, and he obviously takes things too far.
The question remains: do you think Doc has changed?
No,
you don't think so. If
maybe he's a little bit better, but at the same time, he's still not a good guy. I mean, he killed Massacre, dick move.
I disagree. I think Doc has shown massive signs of change because Doc would not have saved some of the people that he did save. He's been living in Peter Parker for a while now, over a month, and he's been doing good things. And I think eventually
it's easier to do good things, though, when you're the top dog. I think before he had to do evil things because he always felt like he had to best Spider-Man to prove that he was better. It's very similar to like Lex Luthor and Superman. Mm-hmm. Lex Luthor, I think, is bad because he feels like it's bullshit that Superman's in their world. Otherwise, he would be the best.
Well, I think now that he has had this opportunity, I do think that when and if he ever comes back and is in a different body or has his
You think he'll be better?
I think he'll be a better guy
I'm not so sure about that.
He's had these past experiences. He might be bitter that he's outside of Peter's body now, but I think he still had those experiences and he has a different perspective on basically life.
So you talked about how this seems to be moving towards the end. Do you think that means Peter coming back is, on the horizon?
I think it's really set up that way. I don't know how many issues down the line, Peter's digging through Doc's mind, looking for memories or a way to come back, and I'm sure that's going to prove fruitful some way.
So the villains this issue were Jester and Screwball. What did you think of them?
I thought they were hilarious. I think they were the modern age of villain. People that would do amazingly in our world. Just memes everywhere. Screwballed.com. And the way they get Jameson was also just hilarious.
I liked how the reporters actually thought it was funny. Like, nobody was like, that was dangerously criminal.
Yeah. Though they are criminals, we have to highlight that fact, because they are stealing
credit card information.
Which is also very modern crime. Though once again, it's interesting that Green Goblin is not brought up again. And I think what's going to happen is if this is the kind of final stretch for Superior Spider-Man. I think the Green Goblin is going to play a big role in Peter Parker coming back, and so Peter might be...
Completely agree. I think he's his greatest villain, so he's got to have a part in him coming back.
And I think Peter is going to then feel, in a way, indebted to his greatest villain, and I think that would be an interesting complex moving forward.
So is it great for Superior Spider-Man number 6? What would you give it?
I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I like the new villains, and as I'm liking how the storyline's progressed, and we've got great Doc moments.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5 as well. It was a really exciting issue. A lot happened, and I really like that.
Thanks for watching B3 Comics review of Superior Spider-Man number 6. Before we go, we have a question for you.
So in this issue, Jester and Screwball pranked Jonah Jameson. Who would you like to see them prank in the Marvel Universe?
Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and like always, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up.
Bye.